Hey boys.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. Good morning. How's it going?
Good
Hello, everyone.
afternoon, good evening, good everything to everyone.
Yeah. It's where I am. It's 7 p.m. now.
7 p.m. for you. I think for
Yeah.
some people it's like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and for others that are on the other side of the world, it's still
And
early
the,
morning, right?
Yeah, and the Pacific side will be sleeping now. The Aussies and the Kiwis.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like 24 hours difference for them.
Yeah. I came over to Sofia for a couple of days.
That's because you're a world traveler, a jet setter. I'm just a digital nomad. Everybody asks me where I am every time I have a concierge or a Zoom call. They're like, "Where are you?" And I'm like, "I'm +5, -7." It's everywhere. I live where it's cheap. How about that? Cheap is my middle name. I live cheaply. And when you travel, you don't want to spend a lot, and so I get value when I travel. And so whether it's in the States or outside the States, it's got to be a good deal.
Absolutely. Well, you have to come this way one day.
That way. That's a lot of flying, and that's a lot. That is
a lot of flying. But once you get here, it's pretty cheap. Spain is quite cheap anyway. So yesterday, I'll tell you, since we're off the cuff and we're talking about that. So I took a bus from Bucharest in Romania across the border to Sofia in Bulgaria overnight.
It sounds so fancy, right? I mean, it's like, I want to go on vacation.
Yeah.
All right, so tell us the cost.
I slept for 2 minutes. And there was lots of people arguing about world matters and opinions about all sorts of stuff, and people shouting at each other, bumpy road, crazy driving, border controls, all of that. I mean, the thing is, I can't complain. It cost me $3.50.
$3.50.
Yeah.
That's the equivalent.
Yeah. So that's the thing. People sometimes complain. I'm like, well, you could also complain, but at the same time, if you're paying that, don't complain. You're paying nothing.
Well, I think we all complain. This is an off the cuff for everybody. Everyone listening here, you can see it says off the cuff at the top. It's got, is that a donut on the right? It's got coffee on the left. It's got tea in the middle. I do have coffee, and I got it from one of those Italian presses.
Nice.
I think we bought it when we were in Costa Rica. Which is kind of funny about it.
Oh, nice! I love Costa Rica.
And we traveled back with it. It was inexpensive, and it just boils the water up and takes it out, and so it makes a really strong coffee.
Brilliant.
By the way, I didn't find coffee strong in Costa Rica. It has great flavor, but I like that real dark, almost. I don't want it chewy, but I want it to have flavor to it, right?
The Turkish coffee. They even keep it's
I love Turkish coffee. Right? For most of you who may or may not know, my wife is of Middle Eastern heritage, and so we do have Turkish coffee. And you know what my favorite is? Cardamom.
Oh, I love cardamom.
Gotta have the cardamom.
Yeah, so when my parents came over, I said to them, she's like, what can I bring? I said, just bring me some cardamom. That's all I want.
Cardamom. And it's good for you. It's good for you.
It's very good for you, and it changes the flavors, and it's amazing.
Why don't we do a little intro anyway? We are off the cuff, and so this is going to be totally wide open. This is the holiday season. Everyone is traveling. That includes some of our devs are traveling. They're going to visit family. They'll get set up where they are. I would say that's pretty much across the board. Rob is traveling. For those of you who follow him. He does certain things, and he travels quite often. I'm always traveling.
Yeah, and Nick, for one, you're traveling. He's actually home now.
Who's home?
Nick.
Nick is actually home. Exactly. Nick is home.
Yeah, I'm traveling. We obviously wanted to keep talking to you guys, talk about all sorts of stuff happening around the world within our lives. So I think that we also get to see the people behind all of this as well. And do come and talk to us, right? Just put your hands up. We'll let you in and and come and talk to us about whatever you want to talk about. We'll talk about sometimes crypto stuff, sometimes other things. There you go. I think we got David.
David Scott.
Chime in? Yeah. Love
David
it.
Scott is with us.
Just connecting. How was your Thanksgiving, by the way? Happy belated Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I did have a good Thanksgiving. For those of you who may or may not know, of course, we get involved in a church body wherever we're located. We had a bunch of people over who they don't have family in the area, so we brought them over here.
Oh, that's
some
lovely.
people who came over who moved here from the islands, Caribbean. They now live here. They came over, and we had a very non-traditional Thanksgiving. I'm not a big fan of turkey.
Me neither.
Although I do like turkey. I think turkey is just in general. It's just unless it's cooked right, it's too dry.
The only thing I like about turkey is the country.
I talked about traveling to Turkey, but I don't think maybe now is the right time for me to go there. So
it's a bit cold now. But I was there last January. But let's let David in as well.
David can talk. Come on, David.
Hello.
David can come on.
Hey guys, it's good to hear your voices.
Likewise.
Oh, we love to hear your voice.
So I actually have a very specific Divi Labs question.
Yeah.
And I noticed somebody mentioned that Bitcoin Ben actually is using the Divi wallet for some sort of a rewards thing. And kind of brought me back. I remember that was, we talked about Loyalty 2.0. I'd love to hear details about how somebody like me with a small business might be able to leverage Loyalty 2.0. Is that something ready to roll out? What are the costs of the Divi Labs team building that out for a company? I know Nick mentioned one time $50,000, but I hope it was tongue in cheek. Is that something ready prime time? Because I'd love that in my business.
Yeah.
I lost you.
Yeah, I think you might be driving. I think there's two questions in there, right? So the first one, like around what's happening with Bitcoin Ben, and then potentially us helping with business. Boys, do you want to take the first one? I can take the second part.
Well, I can speak from a developmental aspect. There is a priority going on right now. So, for most of you who know, what is that background?
Yeah, David, I'm just going to put you on mute for now, okay?
From a developmental perspective, as most of you have experienced over the last 4 months or so, there's been, let's just say it, a lot of problems. And I don't mean that to be unkind. I mean that from my perspective, doing community advocacy and community support, they've had to do a lot of work on the back end. And it's because of ERC20. ERC20 and Ethereum in the wallet has increased, what would we say? It has been extremely robust in your participation with ERC20. And to store and sync and then display all of those, as time has gone on, since February, it has become one where the infrastructure needs to upgrade, right? I think that's what I could say. Yeah. So to be kind about it, and you'll experience that on occasions. For those of you who aren't familiar with how light wallets work, I won't belabor the point, but they don't work like your desktop. Nothing like that. Light wallets have to get their source of data from another location, and that location is generally a cache or a database, which then has some sort of a feature or function that gets that data from another location, which then gets that from the blockchain. So you can see there's multiple levels in there, so you can make it fast and easy for a client. But the ERC20s with all the tokens, it increased bloat, and the devs working on it understand what they need to do, and a completely new system has been built. It needs to be put in place. It's called modular asset integration. And so if you think about it, as the old blogs spoke about the core updates, how the Divi engine 3.0 is a new engine. For those of you who just upgraded and assumed it was just an upgrade, it's not just an upgrade. It is almost entirely a new blockchain. Same information, same data, almost the same usability with a lot of improvements. But the mobile wallet, which is from Divi Labs, has an upgrade for how it syncs and displays and stores your transaction data, which is pushed to your wallet. And that's coming. What happened just recently was the massive update of the caching system, which took almost, I think it was almost 24 hours of an upgrade that took place over the last few days ago. And that tripled the capacities for syncing Ethereum ERC20 tokens. That has to happen first to make this totally robust, totally successful, totally ease of use for loyalty, right? Which is all tied to these features and functions. MAI is what I'm calling it. Modular asset integration has to be in place first. There are some things going on, but we definitely need the mobile team to be able to have breathing room so they can actually, with a scalpel, cut it all out and then cleanly drop in this new modular asset code, which was actually designed by Random String. That was created by the same gentleman who upgraded Divi to Divi 3.0. So that was a foundation add-in helpful touch to the mobile team's back-end cache. It's an amazing system. It will be competitive with everyone out there. It's such a huge upgrade. They just have to have time to put it in. Now, to talk about white labeling and those kinds of things, of course, that's a little bit beyond my scope. But I do understand that there has to be some work done on templating and those kinds of things.
That's right.
That will help. So, yeah.
Yeah, and all of that, David, comes down to, what you actually want to achieve with it. And where we've typically had challenges in the past is that a lot of the clients or the potential clients that come in, they don't really know what they want to get out on the other side. And then when you don't have a clear brief, and that's where things take long, longer, and we don't end up, getting anywhere. So I think depending on the brief, and then the cost will be obviously, dependent on that as well, the amount of resource we need to put into it and the time it takes. So I think, like you said, Nick gave a number, just, like you said, tongue in cheek. But again, it comes down to the brief and what we're trying to build.
Yeah, I do think it's a serious thing. So I do know that there is talks about that, and I do know that there was some review in the Divi wallet working on that. So that is something that is outside of both of our purviews, a little bit more yours than mine at this
point. We worked on, briefs, 300K. There were ones much bigger than that as well.
Exactly.
So it all depends on, what we're trying to achieve. If it's just basic, reskinning the wallet, just white labeling that, it's a lot easier versus trying to build your own, coin on top of ours or, whatever that might be.
Exactly. And reskinning the wallet, we have to remember that when the wallet was first designed, we're going back many years ago, it was never considered to be a white label piece. White labeling came after Chris came on board, to share that. And so originally it was just, quote, Divi wallet, and there was no interest in spreading that out elsewhere. That came a couple of years afterwards, or about a year and a half afterwards. So they need to create a template system if we're going to white label it.
So can you guys, I don't know if this is any better. I turned off my Bluetooth, but
sounds great.
Yeah, good. Okay,
you can sing for us now.
Does that upgrade to the mobile wallet need to happen before the sidechain capability is fully functional?
I think the integration of modular assets is most important for everything. Sidechains are a separate thing. So don't conflate blockchain, the open source chain, with Divi Wallet. Divi Wallet's on its own private building development process. It's not related to the blockchain at all. So their integration of side chains and how and what that looks like will be totally on their purview. Just as the open source blockchain and the foundation wallet, that's the Divi desktop, will have its own release structure. And my assumption is, based upon what we see as this time progresses, if everything flows the way I would hope that it would be, you're going to see that in desktop long before mobile. It's easier on desktop, mind-blowingly easier on desktop. Everybody likes mobile wallet because it's simple. You touch and click it. Yeah. But from a developmental perspective, it's a billion times harder unless you centralize it.
Cool. I hope that answers David.
It helps. It helps for sure. I am for a little while that I think having clear use cases are key.
Yeah.
And it sounds like Loyalty 2.0 and the ability, whatever side chains is, and I'm still a little unclear, but those two things sound like our future. So I'm always trying to understand how close we are to those two becoming a reality.
Yeah, I think, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was just going to say just very quickly, it's like, we always, when we set up, like, whatever we are going towards, it's usually like 6 months, a year long plans, right? So, and then especially in these spaces, it changes so quickly and so often. So we have to kind of then navigate that and change, sometimes take side steps, sometimes even go in the completely opposite direction. So, and other things are there's something we're working on. I'll mention that in a little bit as well. So there are lots of other things coming that's going to increase the utility as well. Over to you, boys.
Yeah, I would say that, again, we have to separate two things. One is the community, which is what you are and I am, and almost everybody here is a validator on Divi or some form or function, at least a holder of the coin. We are one feature and function, and utility itself will depend upon us, but it also depends upon the blockchain and those use cases that will come from that. You can read some of the sample ideas in the blogs. They sort of scratch the surface with subscriptions, which are coming first, and then things like escrow and those kinds of things are coming first. That's when we have side chains, we will already have started at Divi 4.0. There are a couple of things that will happen to the core engine before then. There's maybe one more fork, not a hard fork like this one. Maybe, I don't think so. That will birth that time when we start having the templatization, which is a novel thing for Divi, and nobody else does this yet. I hope other people do. Templatization of smart contracts or Divi special smart contracts. To the templatization of deploying blockchains, which makes it easy for anyone to create their own utility purpose. We talk about loyalty and those kinds of things, but we also talk about medical information. We talk about customer information, purchase history, all sorts of things. If anyone can deploy their own blockchain and it's private or it's public, that's totally up to the validators who are helping it. Businesses can deploy blockchains too through that sort of process that's built in there. So it's really a bridging of utility and blockchain functionalities together, and it's totally up to you. It's your imagination is your limitation.
Yeah, I was just about to say, if you've got any ideas like that, just even come and just talk to us. Things might come out of that. And again, like what I said, we are part of the community, So, I mean, like I said, I'm not, we are here because we all love Divi. We believe in the project. We really believe that it can go somewhere and it can do lots of good things. So, yeah, whatever you guys, have in mind, share with us. I think it's also a good time to mention. So Nick has been working on something pretty exciting. So Ruben and I have been helping him with it as well. We should be able to share something with you all in the next week or so. I would say maximum 2 weeks or next week. That's again another thing that's going to help increase the utility and really help you guys a little bit. So At the moment, it's going to be mainly in the US, but we will start with that. And obviously, more than half of our community is actually US based, so it's not bad in that case. But for people like me outside of the US, I'll have to wait a little bit longer. But yeah, there's something very exciting coming very soon as well. So yeah, lots of stuff coming.
A lot of things coming. That will, of course, help with all sorts of. I don't even know how much I can mention.
Yeah, I know. That's why I was trying to.
I'm not going to mention it. You already skirted around that. All right. So one thing that I want to mention, since we're on Divi, we weren't even intending to have a Divi talk, but it's all Divi people. We're going to have Divi talk. Just make sure that everyone has seen and everyone knows about the Market Maker Initiative and how that helps us all as a community on KuCoin and volumes and those kinds of things, and how we as a community, that means Divi the blockchain and Divi the coin owners, benefit by having the market making services. It's critical in every market. Every industry has market makers, and it's nearly required on all exchanges for communities to have. I've been entirely 100% open source, and I mean to the bone, communities, and the communities help with and participate with super blocks or participation from their earnings to work and create these market makers. Some of them independently. That means if they're large enough, they do it themselves. I've seen groups of 20 people create market makers. In this case, there's an initiative in the DAO, and the DAO is encouraging people to volunteer their participation. It helps with exchanges. It helps get new exchanges. It helps stay on exchanges. It helps smooth out those red and green candles that are giant in a sort of a proof of stake blockchain. We're encouraged to hodl and use our coins for work. So somebody buying or somebody selling, they want to buy a lot at one time. It's not like you're buying a little fractional piece of Divi. You tend to want to buy 100,000 at a time. And in many cases, that's what some people do. Or if they want to sell something or exchange something, then they want to sell a bunch. Market makers even that out. And it allows for a little bit more activity when people want, as opposed to just buying. Sometimes they just wait for an order to come in on those. Just makes it a little bit smoother and easier. It's very important to also recognize the people who've already participated. So there's already people who've participated in moving towards the 24,000 goal. There's $7,138 USD value that's in the DAO contract right now. Any small amount, large amount, whatever you want to do. I feel like I'm on a PBS show. I don't know if you have seen those, but PBS, it's like a public broadcasting. They're always asking. This doesn't affect me at all. It affects us as a community. If you can participate, just go ahead and join the Discord channel. They have a DAO channel there.
Yeah.
I think under the DAO, it's called Market Maker. I could be wrong about that. I'm not in Discord at the moment, but there's a market making channel. I think there's quite a few people in here already participating in it. So let's see what we can do as a community to move that forward.
100%. That's great. Yeah, so lots of stuff to get involved with. Yeah. So we've ended up actually talking a lot about Divi in the end.
We did. How long have we been on here? It's 20 minutes now.
24 minutes.
So, just to reiterate, Divi Mobile Wallet is still a work in progress. And if you have ERC20 tokens that are not displaying because it's not synced, coordinate with me in the support channel, not on Discord. Don't post your stuff on Discord. Discord is not the official full support channel. It is the support.diviproject.org. It keeps you safe. It keeps you secure. It's not email, although some people communicate with email. It doesn't always come through. It's a secure portal. Make sure you log into the portal, set up your password. It keeps you safe. You can attach images to that and everything. But most importantly, if you have an issue with anything displaying, it's simply a refreshing of the cache. I say simple. It's not simple. It's not. It comes out so it sounds simple. it's a refreshing of the cache, and that cache refresh actually makes a call to Infura, which is one of the larger providers for Ethereum blockchain data, and it queries that transaction hash that you have, and it stores that in the Divi cache, which is then pushed, or you pull it to your mobile wallet, which then allows it to display correctly. And this happens on every mobile wallet, by the way. Every light mobile wallet works on a very, very similar, not exact, but a very similar process. If you have that, attach your receiving address to that and what the token would be and its ticker, right? So sometimes you would just say USDT. We already know what that is, but attach the address and the ticker, and we'll go ahead and pass that to the devs, and they will help out, because we had that like 48-hour period where there was a lot of work going on. So, all right.
Nice.
That was a lot of nerd for a second.
That's good. I think after Thanksgiving, you needed to get that out of the system. So, perfect.
What did everybody else do for the holidays? What does everybody else eat? Does everybody else eat? This mainly, I guess, on the North American culture.
Yeah.
It's not like you're having Thanksgiving.
We did like a Friendsgiving with some of the American friends. Yeah.
Friendsgiving? What did you guys do?
Yeah, it's like a new thing. I used to do it in London as well. Like, so all the stragglers who are left in the UK from America, so we get together with them and do a Friendsgiving instead. Just be thankful for your friends.
Friendsgiving.
Yeah.
Turkey?
We did in London, yeah, but the one in
You had turkey?
we just had some local stuff.
That's all right.
It was because we were all working, so for us it wasn't a holiday, so we just a quick 1 hour catch up. Nothing special. But I mean, Spain, there's a holiday. I mean, Divi España, it's like there's usually a festival every other day. So.
Awesome.
Yeah.
What else from anybody else? We've got quite a few people here in the channel.
Yeah.
I just want to ask about something or chat about something.
I want to say.
Otherwise, we'll go.
Did you see that people have been? They're going to sue Cristiano Ronaldo for $1 billion for his partnership with Binance. Did you see that? Yeah.
With Binance.
I mean, obviously they've gone for the most high-profile name to obviously get some PR, and the thing is, like, the whole thing about that, I mean, obviously with marketing, like, we've been very, very careful when we do partnerships. You have to always say, who we are working with, what the deal is, and, if you're getting paid, you have to then talk about that, that you're being paid, or no, you're not. And you've probably seen that in some of the stuff we've done in the past as well. So apparently in this case, Cristiano Ronaldo didn't quite specify exactly what he got. And this is that gray area, like how much do you want to tell
Is that what
people?
it comes down to? Is disclosing?
Yeah.
Not sure what you got paid in.
Apparently. And obviously NFTs, like for me personally, look, I'm not a proper crypto buff by any means of the imagination. But for me, I was like, look, I don't think it was the right time to go into it. The value was debatable anyway, so I didn't. And a lot of people paid, like at the time. Apparently, when Ronaldo announced it, things went up by 500 times or 500%. Yeah. And now they're worth nothing, obviously. And that's why people have lost billions in total. And so you just have to be very careful when you're partnering with celebrities, influencers. Just have to, say exactly what the deal is, what you're getting paid, if you're getting paid.
I don't know. I think that's kind of, look, I'm a little bit more of a free thinker, but if you bought NFTs based on Ronaldo and just assumed they were going to go up in value, I don't know. I have a problem with the disclosure is key, right? The disclosure is key. I think that it. I mean,
it all comes down. I mean, I don't know if it's the place to say this. I don't want to be philosophical here, but look, people who got into this were trying to get a quick buck, and clearly that backfired.
So they should have sold. They should have sold.
Yeah, and if they really loved Ronaldo, they wouldn't be suing him right now. They'll be keeping that NFT.
Well, some people probably are. They're just waiting for the next NFT swing. But I guess, we do that. Mike is here with us, by the way.
Hey, Mike.
Mike on.
Hey guys. No,
how you doing?
I'm doing well. So our ex-Binance advisor, isn't he the one that was instrumental in bringing that Ronaldo deal to the table?
Have no idea. That's you.
Yeah. He was part of it.
So this is Divi news. This is Divi related. Right?
This is Divi news, exactly.
It's Divi news, but it's not really Divi news. It's not even Binance news. It's Ronaldo's side, right? So and this is what I mean, like, so the gray area is like how much he disclosed and how much he didn't, and you can clearly see what's happened here. Social media, influencers, celebrities, it's a very new area. Like, even, I mean, I've worked with people for so long now, with celebrities and influencers. Still, there are lots of things you learn on the go, and especially with, Web3, NFTs, they're all very new things. And there's always going to be these gray areas or not very clearly defined areas, and this is where sometimes when you fall down, you always try to blame the other person, that saying, actually, you should have looked where you were going, or at least do some research to say, or maybe there's some water on the road, you might slip. And I think it's one of these cases, but let's see what happens. It's an interesting space to look at anyway.
I think it's important for all influencers to disclose, right?
Yeah. Just to say, like, oh, I've been paid to do this, oh, I'm not taking any payment. I'm doing this purely because I really believe in the project, blah, blah, blah. And some people do that as well. Not many. Or it could be like how we worked with some of the influencers in the past. It's about value exchange. So we are taking them to Madrid, go to a match to experience that. So it's an experience value exchange rather than payment.
Back during 2009, I went deep down the penny stock trading rabbit hole.
Yeah.
This is very, very, very similar, parallels. But I remember there was a guy prior to that named Jonathan Lebed. He was a teenager, and he sat at home in his bedroom. He was probably 15, and he would put out these fake press releases. He would announce fake news on, American online message boards and stuff. And this was probably a few years prior to 2009, but he made millions and millions of dollars pumping penny stocks because he would say things like, this celebrity is buying into it, or this stock is about to, get FDA approval. And I remember that the SEC came after him, and he was a minor, so he just got fined, but got to keep quite a bit of that money. I don't think he had to pay that much. And it's fascinating to me because what comes out of that are people who now can spot those trends and short the penny stocks that are doing the pump. And I've been waiting for the ability to short NFTs or short crypto projects. And I think that's going to be something coming. Is I want those derivatives. I want to buy puts. When do we buy puts on NFTs? I think that's the next thing.
Yeah, you just got to be very careful with those things. I'm very traditional in that sense. Like, if it's out of my control, I'm very hesitant to get involved. Yeah, and I think, and another thing I want to add to the whole Ronaldo thing is like, it's great what Ryan delivered, and that's incredible. They got Ronaldo and Binance together, and to do this, when you are the first mover, there's always going to be issues like this because you're going on into the unknown, and so it's part of the risk of being the first mover. And and there were lots of stuff that we were learning when we were doing the La Liga partnership as well. So it's like that, isn't it? Just got to be careful with those things. That's all I would say. Do the due diligence.
Do your due diligence.
Yeah.
I think that's what it comes down to, whether it's NFTs or coins or tokens. Look, things go up and down, right?
Yeah.
It's not like we can brag about our value at this moment in time. There's no question. We're talking about the trading value of Divi, right? But a lot of people can make that journey of emotion and really jump on because somebody big says something, and it's right at the top, right? And that can be painful. We still have to make our own decisions. In those times, right? And so value for Divi right now is past crypto utility, right? Past crypto made easy. Crypto made easy for us as a blockchain is a little bit different than what it is for the application. but the applications themselves can always be made easier. That would be a foundation. It's crypto utility that is the value proposition. But it's, when you say crypto utility, it's not like you're saying Cristiano Ronaldo. So those kinds of things are different. There's that emotional boom, that spotlight that can go on something, and somebody can jump too fast, too hard.
Yeah. Look, all I'm gonna say is, like, at the end of the day, people always say to me, coming, into crypto from the outside crypto, oh, you don't really understand. It's different. I'm like, no, it's not. Because one thing we are forgetting, it's all people. Even just the 100%. Weather affects us. Even literally just the wind affects us. So imagine us being trusted with running countries, billions of dollars in hand. Come on, really? What were you thinking? We are having so many wars going on. Come on, why can't we just be nice to each other? Just emotions and all sorts of things that happen to us. So just be careful with your money, with your time, everything you do.
Exactly.
And don't always blame the other people when you fall down. But one thing I would say, if you fall down here, boys on the team have been instrumental in helping everyone. I mean, you've helped me a lot of times, boys, and even some of my friends. If you guys ever have any questions, definitely you've got the best team here. I can definitely say that.
I'm blessed as a community member, right? Starting off purely as a community member for almost 2 years, and now for a couple of years advisory on the team, and I do work for the team, and then I have days where I still volunteer in the community. 3 days a week, I do 8 hours a day of volunteer work. But I'll be honest with you, I just don't do it for Divi. I do it for other blockchains too. I'm still in other blockchain communities. But I have to just admit that the team, Gary and Neeks, who are community members, and it's peace of mind for me. I know most of you see me in the channels quite often, everywhere, but I have to be honest, if it wasn't for Neeks and it wasn't for Gary, I think my head would have exploded a long time ago, because my drive is to make sure I like being I have a savior complex, maybe, I don't know, but I like to share. I like to learn. I like to get you over the hurdle. I live through your journey, whether you're coming in or you have a problem. For me, I just love helping. And so I will go 24 hours a day, but I do have to sleep. And Neeks and Gary gave me that after a few years. So I just can't express more gratitude for those two people than I could ever express for anyone at this moment in time.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of the times Neeks will message me and say, hey, have you seen this message about marketing?
Oh, yeah. Totally.
Yeah, definitely. He's on it. Both of them.
Totally.
And cool. I think we've gone to 38 minutes. It's an off the cuff that turned into a Divi chat, which is great.
Yeah, it was totally an off the cuff. Everybody knows I don't like turkey, and you had turkey in the UK, so that's
yeah, absolutely. And one thing I want to say, so definitely stay tuned, because like I said, Nick's been working on something exciting. I'm going to be working on that as well for the next couple of weeks. So stay tuned, and we will share that with you.
There are other exciting things going on also, but we'll be able to maybe share some of those at a later date. But we're in the holiday season, so it's the quiet time right now. So we're in that.
I'm gonna ask a question that maybe you guys can or can't answer, but can we expect the reality of any of those exciting things to happen in 2024?
Which things? There was many things.
I don't know.
The one I mentioned would happen in the next few weeks.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. It seems like we have a lot of secret squirrel stuff happening, and sometimes we're never sure if we're talking years, months, or weeks. So
no. Usually we work in shorter cycles. Like I said, it changes so much. And,
yeah.
Otherwise, by the time we start the race, it's changed.
Yeah. I think that one of the things that we do, or at least I do, that's different from, let's say, somebody like Nick or even Jeff. They're really big on partnerships. Which, if you heard the communication we had on Spaces, I don't know, maybe 10 spaces ago, maybe 8 spaces ago, I kind of described that for Nick. It's like speed dating. I mean, he's got to keep meeting people, as you do, Ranoop, right? I mean, as you talk to people and meet people. And so you develop relationships while you're dating. As you go through your speed dating process, you start to build relationships with people. Maybe you start dating some people because you're looking to get married or something.
Yeah.
And as you're going through, it turns out maybe that doesn't work out. But while you're dating that person, I mean, how many times before I got married did I think, oh, I love this person? Well, maybe a couple of times. And so you think that's the one, of course. But that doesn't always happen. As we all know, we all experience that. Business for you guys is the same way, because as you're developing a relationship with another entity, that entity has its priorities, that entity has its interests, that entity has its community, and how to marry those two together. It looks great today, but 6 months from now, it's not looking so great. I don't live in that world. I don't think I could live in that world. I live in the world of tangibles. If we can get this built, this will do this. And I think that's awesome, and it's going to benefit everyone. That's the world I live in. So
you could almost have those 2 layers, right? Because you got to have that kind of basic fundamental bit where you are servicing your clients. You keep growing, you keep doing better, and you guys focus on that, and we do the bit on top of that, saying like, what else can we add to this to make us even better or different, or partner with other technologies that we don't have. So, and exactly like you said,
in your world.
Stressful.
It's too stressful. It's too stressful. For me, it's like, when can we start? And, Neeks is good at planning those kinds of things, because he does help that mobile wallet team and even the desktop team. But he's good at planning, but it's about resources, right? Resources when you're building. But for me, it's just, if we can get to this point in time where this is done, I know this will happen. And that's something I can state with a firmness. If we can go along these breakpoints and hit these milestones, this can happen. For you guys, you may hit a milestone and then all of a sudden somebody blows up the bridge in between. Yeah. That's not the same as what I do. So,
Absolutely.
Anyway.
Cool, yeah, we'll share as much as we can, as soon as we can. But that one will come in very soon.
All right, last call for any questions. Last call. Anybody?
I should have come with a glass of wine instead of tea.
You should have. Last call for anyone. Going once? Going twice? Oh, did somebody just raise their hand, or did they just clap?
No, clapping.
Thanks,
Karst.
Karst is always there. We love Karst. Yeah. All right.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, everyone. It was great to have this off-the-cuff Divi chat.
We just had fun today. All right.
We had fun, indeed. Absolutely. Great to chat you all every week. And Moise, pleasure as always. And
thank you.
David and Mike, thank you for joining to talk as well. Great questions.
And if you guys need me, just be secure. I'm not on Telegram. I do a little bit of support with Neeks on Discord. Support.diviproject.org. I'll keep you safe. You'll stay safe, and we can help each other. All right?
Yeah. Thanks, guys. Perfect.
Bye.
Thanks, everyone. Take care. Bye-bye.